It's the Full Face Dahling Show, starring the Budget Beauty, Lindsay Beatty.
Hello, guys and dolls. This is Lindsay Beatty. This is our Full Face Dahling Show. This is our first episode, and what we're doing here is recording. We're showing you the inventory that I keep here at Budget Beauty to be able to track all of my makeup. So I'm going to go through this and show you just how I track my makeup. And this is specifically for the brand ColourPop. So what I do to get started, what I do is I have a spreadsheet in Excel, Microsoft Excel. I don't like Excel, but Excel is the best way to do this without like physically having to sit there and be like, oh, count each time how much I have of something. So this is the best way to do this. And I use Excel every day. I'm an accountant in my day job. So very specifically an auditor. And so I use Excel every day, even when I'm not at work. So this is a very, very well organized spreadsheet. At least it's organized for me. And what I did was I have my brand, I have a product column, the shade and the type and the area, and if I've reviewed it, and if I have notes. And so I didn't want to show y'all the review column or the notes column, but there are columns for that so that I can track it as I'm going. So most importantly here, we're going to talk about ColourPop today. So as you can see, scrolling down, actually let's stay up here at the top for just a second. I have 83 different things from ColourPop. Some you'll see there's a lot of the cream gel liner. There's just a lot of that. There's a lot because I buy a lot of those. And the great thing about this is with using Excel to do this is I can go down here and I have it set up. And this is just a normal function of the spreadsheet, but you can count how many you have. So if I want to quickly know how many of the cream gel liners I have, I can look down here and it says 11. So yes, it's super helpful. So ColourPop, I have a lot of ColourPop. So as you can see, when I do my type, I like to specify what it is, especially if it's like eyeshadow, because I have a lot of different types of eyeshadow. So I have powder palettes, I have liquid eyeshadow, I have the eyeshadow sticks from various brands. And so I like to be very specific here so that when I want to just filter and do a slicer tool that immediately, very quickly, I can go in here and say, okay, show me everything from ColourPop that is eyeshadow powder palette. So, and you can also filter it up here. Filtering is also your friend. But I do like to make this, I like to have I have a slicer over here off to the side for brands, type, and level. Because level, this is how I also track my splurge purchases. So level is drugstore, high-end, or mid-tier. And so I like to keep track of that so that when I come tell y'all, hey, you need to go buy this. This is a drugstore brand, or this is a mid-tier, or this is a high tier, and you want to kind of save your money. Don't, like, if you're going to splurge, but you can find this in a drugstore thing. It's much easier to keep up with. It really is. Organization is key here. So, I like to go in and I update my spreadsheet whenever I do my beauty hauls. I update my spreadsheet and I periodically go in and clean it up. I may have a duplicate somewhere or something like that. So let's talk about ColourPop though. So for ColourPop, we have 83, and Scrolling down, this is, it's fairly involved. I actually see where I made an error while I'm doing this. Like I say, very quickly, I could fix my error here with that Flex Metallic that I used yesterday, as a matter of fact, in filming this second part of this video. This is the Flex Metallic is a shadow stick, but I had gone in here and fat fingered it, I guess, and I had taken out the name. It does help to have this name. These things, in order to have this organized, it needs to be correct. So, and you'll see why in a second. So, yes, these are all like, and they are all set up by, I have them set up by area. Okay. So they should all be together. They should be, but we're going to actually sort by product too. Sort A to Z. Okay. So let's do that. It's still going to remain 83 because it didn't change the count at all. So I want to put all of them together. So, for the cream gel liner, this is, there are a lot of these, and we're going to show what I actually have the most of from ColourPop. ColourPop, like I say, by far, ColourPop is the biggest brand that I have here. So, going through gel eyeshadow sticks, I just bought these, as a matter of fact. Couple of standouts here, the cream gel liners, the Act Natural Defining Mascara. That's very good. I use that in the look to do this. And then, so we're actually, what we're going to do here is I'm going to mark the things that I used in the look, and to highlight. So this one, let's highlight it and mark it as pink. So that I use that, the cream gel liner punch. Let's see, what else did we use? Wildcat. And then, oh, we use that. And we use Swerve. Let's come back up and hit Swerve. I very much like doing this because it's calming. I promise you, there are some very, my line of work lends itself to very autistic behaviors. Okay. And also a little tinge of ADHD going in there. I'm very certain I have ADHD, but the autism is very likely also. And so the organization, this is organization. This makes me feel better. So if my spreadsheet is organized and together, we feel better about things. So, just quickly going through and marking what I know for a fact that I used. Let's see, what else did we use? I have a lot of this stuff. And I like having this large amount of variety. This helps. It helps tremendously when you're trying to do something and you're like, oh, you know what? I'll just use a very specific color. Oh, I know I had that in ColourPop. That's why this is also super helpful. We use that. This is very helpful in keeping track of, oh, hey, I know I have this in the inventory. Let me go make sure that this is not already purchased. So we have that problem sometimes. New to you, we used that. We used the concealer and the foundation and the setting spray and the primer. We used a lot of the Pretty Fresh part of that line. The Pretty Fresh section is very good. Very good from ColourPop. You see there's a lot of Pretty Fresh items here. 6. And I'm almost certain that's almost all of it that they make. Almost. I might be missing like 1 or 2 things. We used Flex Metallic. Total in the kit, I have 616 pieces of makeup. It may not be, there are some duplicates just because, but I don't track duplicates. Like I'm not going to put in here that I have two of some things. So I wouldn't put in here that I have two of some things. Let's see. I think that's everything that we used. Actually, we used the highlighter and we used lunch money. There are a lot of the shadow sticks. As a matter of fact, let's count the shadow sticks very quickly. There are 16 shadow sticks. That is how many of those I have bought. I love the ColourPop shadow sticks. They are fantastic. I get my money's worth immediately. We used, and also yesterday I could not, and you'll hear me say in the second part of this video that I couldn't figure out what the other shades were of the liquid lipstick, the ultra matte liquid lipsticks, Flurries and Double Date. Double Date I believe is a nude and Flurries is pink. So very good lipstick though, in every respect, very good. Risk Taker we used, we did not use the weightless liquid blush, but as you can see I have 5 of those. So now that is great. As you can see, there's quite a few things that we used to do this upcoming look in the second part of this video. And then let's go over to the next tab. And I have made a tab that features what is called a pivot table. Pivot tables are fantastic in summarizing your data that you have. If you want to know very quickly, like I say, you could use a pivot table, or you could use the slicer tool to like segment and figure out, like separate things out and show, like filter what you have for a very specific thing. Pivot tables, once you get the hang of doing a pivot table, and it doesn't take much, but once you get the hang of doing a pivot table, it's not that hard. It's really not. I actually learned how to do pivot tables in my previous job, not where I was an accountant and I was an accounting clerk, but I used pivot tables to quickly summarize the things I was billing. So by the time I got to my current job, it was much easier, and I knew how to use a pivot table very well and create them. So I played around with this before I started filming to figure out exactly how I wanted to present this data, because you can do this a number of different ways. So what I wanted to do was show y'all that for ColourPop, for each like individual product that ColourPop makes, is going to add up to 83, but I wanted to show you what exactly how many I had of a certain thing. So as we quickly saw, it took me some time to like select everything and get it, you know, set up the way I wanted to on the actual inventory tab. But here at the makeup pivot table for this brand, you can see quickly that I have 14 of these. I also can do a slicer on this as well, but you don't really need to if you have it set up the way you want it to be set up. It's not like it's really doubling the work, so don't do that if you don't really want to. But as you can see here, so like we have 14 of the BFF Crème Gel Liners. So very quickly I can see that. Down here, shadow sticks, I have 16 of those, as you saw on the makeup inventory tab. So yeah, it's easy to see that, and I don't have it sorted here, but I could probably sort this and have it do from A to Z. There's a way to set this up where I can do that and make it be so that from A to Z over here with this, which is how this is, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is in alphabetical order for the row labels here. But I could also put a filter on this and have it sort from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. And I like to sort, I generally do this when I'm doing my day job. I like to sort from largest to smallest so I can quickly see how many do I have of a certain thing, how much is a certain account. So that way I can quickly tell, oh, this is the one I need to focus on. So as you can see here, it's not that necessary, but it's a nice way to summarize my data and very quickly see, oh, I have 16. I have the most at Shadow Sticks, and then the next largest is BFF Crème Gel Liner. So that is kind of what I would like to do with showing y'all my makeup catalog, and we will be doing this for each brand. So when and I don't know if I will keep this at the beginning for the next one. We will see. I think I will do that, or maybe it will just be after, and just show you like very quickly what I have for each brand. So that's why I'm working out the details of how I want to set this up. But I did want to show you my makeup catalog. So, all right, we will see you in the next part of this video. Stay tuned and you will see the complete look for ColourPop. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to Budget Beauty. This is Budget Beauty's full Face Dahling Show, starring the Budget Beauty, this guy. This is my new series where I'm going to do an entirely full face of makeup with one brand. And we're gonna try to craft a look and see if we can do it and make it look nice with just one brand. We are not mixing and matching. We are using one thing from each category that I like to wear. So I am Lindsay Beatty. I am the creative force and the face behind Budget Beauty. And in today's episode, our inaugural episode, we are doing ColourPop. This is a massive favorite of mine. I have probably the most products from ColourPop, just because ColourPop, if you are into budget makeup like I am, ColourPop is affordable and the quality is good. If I can just when I got back into buying makeup, and when I was like, I need to go try to boost my kit here. What do I do? Who do I use? So I went and I looked and I was like, oh, ColourPop. I had never heard of ColourPop at this point. I hadn't, because I've been out of the makeup game for a good minute because COVID, and also I just didn't wear, I mean, I wore makeup, but I didn't wear like a ton of makeup. So I was like, well, let me find out about ColourPop. Let me go do some research. So I did some research and I found ColourPop was very affordable. And I could buy things and that I liked, and they had a really large range of things that I really liked. So I was like, okay, well, I'll start out with ColourPop. ColourPop, I had a little bit of Juvia's Place, but ColourPop, I was like, all right, I'll start with ColourPop. So that's what I did. So here we are, because now ColourPop makes up the majority of my kit. So to start off, I figured I would start with ColourPop. So we are going to do a goldish yellow look using entirely ColourPop products, minus like one thing, because ColourPop does not make this thing, and I like using this thing for my lashes. So we're going to use maybe we're gonna see when we get there. We're gonna see when we get there. So let's get started. So now, we have a few decisions to make once we get to certain products. And one of them is going to start out very quickly, and that's why I'm introducing this now. So, and you will see to my left here, there is going to be a list of the products that we use. So, if you want to use these products and you want to build a look, these are the ones that I am suggesting and that I am using in this look, because they are the ones that I like the most out of all of the things that I use in my kit from this specific brand. This is what I am using when I reach for it in my kit. So keep that in mind. So to get started, and y'all know if y'all are a follower of Budget Beauty, or if this is just your first time here, I like to start with my eyes. Now, I like to multitask while I'm doing, and I like to tell a story while I'm doing. So I will start with prepping my eyes with eyeshadow primer, and also setting up my face primer so that my primer is sitting there and it's settling in and it's getting ready to, so I can just start on the canvas. So I like to start with eyeshadow primer. So for our first ColourPop choice, we have 3 different primers, eyeshadow primers, that we're going to use, that we could use from. This is, and to start with, this is the ColourPop Party Proof Eye Primer, so that y'all see what this is. So I have all 3 colors that they make. They make 3 different ones. This one is the translucent. This one is deep. And this one is caramel. Now, I really don't notice a difference when I use this. I don't notice a difference. So I'm like, I mean, I could use either, any of the 3 here. But I do like the translucent for the look that we're going to do here, because this is going to be a yellow look. So yellow gold look, and I kind of want to hold that color and boost it. So we're going to use, this is the translucent one. So we're going to use this one. Now, their eyeshadow primer is like a cream consistency. It's a very thick cream, as you can see, a very thick cream consistency. So it's going to go on a little thick, but it does dry down. You have to spread this out. Now, don't be afraid to spread her out, because the more you spread it out, the faster it's going to dry here. And that is your friend, especially when you're in a hurry. So, yeah, spread her out. Do what you can to apply a good amount, because you do want to apply a good amount to get it on the eye. But you also want it to be, you don't want it to be too thick, because then it dries down and it's hard to work on top of it. Now, this eyeshadow primer, it's okay. It's not the best on the market, but it's good. It's good enough. It will do the job, and you will be able to do what you want to do with it. I've used all 3 since I bought them, and they're fine. They're actually fine. They work really well with their own brand, which they should. Should not have formula conflict. Like if you were mixing brands, like you'd use this and then you use somebody else's eyeshadow, and then you had problems with it. I have not had a formula conflict within its own brand, so, and I haven't had a conflict with anybody else's either. Like if I use this and then use somebody else's eyeshadow, I've not had a problem with it. So I like to start with my eyes first, so that gives them time to dry while I am doing something else, because multitasking. We like to multitask. So primer is on the eye, and trying to let it settle down and get going. So, all right, let's talk about face while this is drying. So for the face, this is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Set It Up Primer. This is an excellent primer. This is my second tube of this, and it is very, very good. It says, smooth a pearl-sized amount onto moisturized skin with fingertips. Follow up with Pretty Fresh foundation or tinted moisturizer, which we're going to do. But let me tell y'all, this is an excellent foundation primer. Like, it is excellent. I use it. I can mix and match with other people's foundation, and it sets up a very good base. It makes my skin feel really smooth. It sets a really nice canvas underneath. It's fantastic. It is a very, very good soft lotiony type primer, and I like that. It is not like a sticky primer either, because once it dries down, it's dry, and it's not going to be like sticky. It's not a gripping primer, and I like that, because I don't want to use a grippy primer right now. I'm not using grippy primers, so but it does make my skin feel really good. Excellent primer, just excellent. So as you can see, try to get it where you guys can see, it does smooth and blur my skin. Like I said, very, very good lotiony type primer, and it sets an excellent base for foundation and concealer that you're going to use. Okay, so I do believe my eyes are dry. Yep, they're dry. Okay, so as you see, in the time it took for me to do all that, and I spread it out pretty thin. So it's dry. So let's jump back to the eyes real quick. Okay, so now for the eyes, I cut my crease. I generally cut my crease because my crease is the way that I know to stop. Now, if I were doing drag makeup, it wouldn't matter. I'd probably have it up to here in my very, very thick eyebrows. But I do not. I like to do just a crease right here on my bone here. Okay, my brow bone up here. So that's just, like I say, full. It literally tells me, hey, stop. So you don't want to go beyond this point. I'd turn back if I were you. So yeah, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea for me to have a crease cut. So for this look, we're going to probably use two different things to do the crease cut. One is going to be, and both, they're the same product, but it's going to be two different shades. So let's introduce our players for this evening. This is the BFF. This is the ColourPop BFF Crème Gel Liner. And they are, I have many of these. I have them in almost every shade. Almost. Because I can find a shade to go with something I'm wearing. So, this one is the shade Punch. Okay? Punch. Good old Punch. This is the shade Wildcat, and it's like a goldish. Okay, so I want to use both of these because, as you can see, this is a lighter yellow than this dress that I have on, but I also do like wearing Wildcat. I'll put them on opposite shoulders here. I like wearing Wildcat when I wear gold, so we will use both. All right, so to start, let's start with Punch. And most of these, now these, when you're trying to go buy, I can tell you, you can get all of this stuff off of ColourPop.com, or you can get it at Amazon, or you can get it at Ulta. Okay, and you can get it at Target also. I just don't want to go to Target, so I usually go to Ulta, or I'm on Amazon, and very rarely do I order directly from ColourPop, but I have done so in the past. So that's, as you can see, that's a slight crease cut. It's there. I can see it. This corner is very, very thick, and it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna cover over that anyway, more than likely. And note that I am tracing around where I put primer, eyeshadow primer. So we're going to do this other eye. Punch is a very good shade. Wildcat for me sometimes shows up and sometimes does not. So that's why I like to pair it with other things. All right, so this is Wildcat. So we're going to trace over the top of that with Wildcat. I like Wildcat. It does show up on my skin though. And as you can see, once paired with this, with the punch, as you can see, it made a very gold color. It didn't overtake it. It just, it mixed with it very well, I like to think. And made an excellent color. Very good. Very, very pleased. Now, next. I'm so excited about this because I don't wear this shade that often and I want to wear it. Now, we are going to do a little bit of a pinup lash line, what I like to call a pinup lash line. So, we're going to also use, as a surprise guest, this is the BFF Crème Gel Liner in the shade Swerve. And I know it's Swerve because I use it all the time, and this is like my 4th or 5th pencil in this. I use it all the time to do this part. I don't use the liquid liner to do this. I prefer to use the cream gel liner to do this because I can get it real precise. I can control it, and I just like using their liquid liner under my eye, which we will get to liquid liner much later down the road. But for this, what I like to do, I like to go over my lash line, very close to the lash line. Sometimes I draw it too high, but that's just user error on my part. This is a fantastic pencil for this because no dragging, no tugging. It's very smooth, and the black is very matte and intense. Now, I have used the ColourPop Shadow Stick to do this because I have it also in black. Known as Midnight Hour, the shade Midnight Hour, but I prefer using this to do it. Because the shadow stick is kind of big. If I'm doing like a tall lash line, which sometimes I do want to do that as a tall lash line, I will use it, but for the most part, no. Okay. Now, as you can see, lash line is done on this eye, and then we do it to the other eye. I've gotten much better at doing this. Just takes practice of setting my line and coming across. That way I get a fairly even line, because your girl cannot draw a straight line. Let me just be very clear. I cannot draw a straight line, and you will see that when I do my lip liner and when I do my this lash line. My line is never going to be straight. It's fine. About as straight as I am. So, I don't care. It's very crooked. There's a few little bumps in the road, but, you know, we'll be alright. It's not the end of the world if it is not entirely 100% straight. Alright. Very cool. And yes, sometimes I do actually do a wing. I'm not good at wings, and there are things to make wings, but I don't care enough to like get jumped up about it. So, all right, now for the eyeshadow, I have several choices here. I decided I have two choices. Both are very good. This is the Honey palette from ColourPop, and it is 9 shades in it. As you can see, they list them out on the back. And I really, really, really like this palette. It has an excellent yellow in it. It is a great yellow. I was shocked by how much I like the yellow in it. And then we have the ColourPop Shadow Stick in the shade. I don't even remember what the shade is. Flex Metallic. This is one where it's on the bottom of it and not on the side. Some of them are on the bottom and some are on the side with the name. So you have to kind of know which ones do it. And I forgot about this one. This one, I use this one. This is the most intense gold I have ever seen. The only other gold that I've seen that rivals this is probably the Fenty Shadow Stick. But I really love Flex Metallic. I do. When I want to wear a gold, I reach for this. And I'm using ColourPop. I specifically reach for this gold. Now, like I say, the Honey palette has gold in it. And it just really depends on, do I want to use a powder or do I want to use a stick? So, but as you can see, there is a very, very glittery gold here. I've used it before. This yellow is fantastic. This is the yellow I was talking about. That is the shade Sweet Spot. It is a very nice matte yellow. And it works very well with putting stuff on top. This gold shimmer up here is fantastic. This gold shimmer down here, Buzzkill, very good. There are different golds in here that are really good. So, I think we're going to use this, but if I decide I want to add to it, I could. It's not a problem. So, as you can see, the stick is a little down, but that's what it looks like. Really, really nice formula on these shadow sticks. I absolutely adore these. These are the best shadow sticks on the market, I think. The L'Oreal Lay Shadow Stick is also very good. Now, don't sleep on those. But ColourPop makes a hell of a stick here. And the yellow gold works very well here. And as you can see, it matches my crease. But look how smooth that went on, and it is intensely pigmented. Like, I was shocked the first time I used it and saw how pigmented it was. And this is probably like my second shadow stick. I think I bought Juicy Gossip the first time, which is the pink. It's the metallic pink. But all of the shadow sticks, I have 16 of these, I'm pretty sure. The last count out of the inventory, which we will be also at the beginning of this video, you will see a rundown of my inventory that shows my ColourPop, because I do in fact keep inventory. I do keep a list. It's the best way to stay organized. So, as you can see, the gold is there. The gold is golden. I mean, I adore that gold. That gold is beautiful. It is so pretty. And it does show up when I take photographs with this on, because I have at least one where I have this on and it is popping. That's how I noticed. I was like, oh, my eyes showed up very well there. Now, I like to do a little cleanup. I do like to go back in and do a little cleanup, because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed, which I did. Yeah, quick fix. As you can see, very intensely matte, and it will cover up. So, be very, 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 very aware of that. All right, now, I have one other thing I want to try. I just got this in today. This is the ColourPop Jelly Much Jelly Stick. And it is a very, very intense goldish. It is like a copper gold almost. So let's swatch it. Because I have not opened it. We may not want to put that on top of it. Yeah, we can put that on top of that. Y'all can see that's the swatch. It is very copper. But this is the shade Golden Coast. So, I wanted to be like Gold Coast, but Golden Coast. So let's see what happens when I do this. Not much. It does do a little something. It does do a little something. I can tell there's shimmer change to it. Very pretty though. I'd already seen Robert Welsh, makeup artist, who I follow very, very closely, use these, and I was already waiting for these anyway, and I saw him use them and demonstrate, and it was the most pigmented I'd ever seen. This is gorgeous. The fact that it's almost overtaking the gold, almost. It's just the right amount of shimmer though. I like that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Y'all can't really see it on camera, but I promise you, there is a difference. I can see the difference in the shimmer here. So, get very close to that line. Yeah, I can see the shimmer. Ooh, this is going to be really, really, really nice. This is my first time opening these. I bought them. I bought like 4 of them all at once because I had been waiting for these for several months. Absolutely fantastic. They are highly pigmented. I mean, that gold is golden. It's a deep champagne gold, but on top of this, it does give it a little shimmer, and it is just the right amount of shimmer. I really like that. That is really nice, ColourPop. I knew they were going to be nice when I saw Robert using them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. What I'm doing here is just touching it up a little bit with this tool. I use these tools very, very often to apply my powder shadows and to touch up on cream stuff. Now, as with the She Glam ones, because that's what these remind me of, you have to move on this very quickly. You cannot mess around and not do it very quickly. Also, they also are very, very similar to Danessa Myricks Duo Sticks. Color Fix Duo Sticks. Which is to say they're very good. So, alright. That's done. So, now, this was where we got to the choice where I was thinking about, do I want to use somebody else's lash primer? Because ColourPop does not make a lash primer. So, I don't think I will use a lash primer for once. I'm not going to use one because the lash primer that I would have used is for another brand. So, and I will use it when we get to that brand. So I think I will just go in straight with like mascara. Most people don't even use lash primers. So I do because they're helpful for my lashes. So for the mascara, this is the ColourPop Act Natural Defining Mascara. I used to have this and the Level Up. I do not have the Level Up anymore because I used it up. So, but this one is fine. And a little teachable moment. This is in the shade brown. Teachable moment so that y'all learn if you didn't already know. This is a defining mascara. This is what you would use if you're wanting volume. And when I do a pinup lash line, I generally don't wear mascara because you cannot see my lashes. My lashes are also very black. So this is a brown, so it may show up. It actually may show up. But when you want a lengthening one, you'll see the brush is very, very, very close. It's not going to be a big brush. It's not going to be a big thick brush like this. So this is more of a defining, like it's giving you volume. So this is, as we go across, we apply going across and try to wiggle from top to bottom. Now my lashes right now are kind of goofy right now. So you're not going to see anything really. It's just going to look very, very, very volumey. Like there's just going to be a lot more volume than there previously was. But I do like their volume mascara. I love the Level Up. I just haven't bought another tube of it. Because every time I go in there, I forget to do it. So every time I go into Ulta, I forget to buy another one. But I did like it. It was great. Really good. Starter mascara if you're getting back into makeup and you're starting to use mascara and learn how it works. Also, you will notice that when I do my mascara, I do pull my eyelid up because it helps me define the lashes. And it helps me get to them a little bit better. So, it's helpful. Very helpful. Okay. So, as you can see, it's a little bit more defined. Now, if I were using a lengthening one, they'd be really tall without the pin-up lash line going on. There's one lash that has decided to be goofy. And it is in my eye. I do not wear false lashes. I'm teaching myself, I'm going to be teaching myself how to do it, how to apply them, and apply them correctly. It's going to take some practice, but I use a lot of mascara. So, okay. But I've got to grab this lash over here. He is acting up. Okay. So, my nose is being a little weird right now, and I got mascara on my nose. I managed to somehow get mascara on it. So, yes, they are a little bit more defined. There's not a whole lot. So, but that's fine. But I do like that mascara. Excellent budget choice. Not expensive. And we will be including in this video prices for everything. All right. Our eyes for right now are done. We will come back and do the under eye later. Let's turn our attention to the face. So we have already applied our primer. Face is very, very soft. It is settled in. It is good to go. I like to use from ColourPop. There are 3 different types of foundation here that I like to use. The first is their tinted moisturizer. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. This is in the shade Dark 18W. Now, for me, this is almost slightly like the wrong color, almost. But it is what it is. This was my first, like one of my first foundations that I ever bought. And my bottle's about half through. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation in the shade Dark 157W. I know the shade by heart because I applied it a lot. Especially in the early days of Budget Beauty. And they also make a stick. This is a tinted foundation balm. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Foundation Balm in the shade Dark 20. So, to be very, very honest with you, I started out with this, and I'm almost thinking, depending on the season, that this isn't the right shade for me. However, this is a fantastic foundation. This is great. I really, really like this. I have used it a lot. I've worn this for some really big events, and for like where I've done my makeup and I needed a really good foundation. It's not expensive, and it's very good. And it has a good shade range. I've also used this tinted moisturizer a couple of times, and it is pretty good. This is the right shade, I think, for me. Sometimes it may not be the right shade, and then I'm like, oh, this is a little too light, or it's a little too dark. But I think my shade range is very seasonal. So, I do like this stick, and I think we're gonna use the stick today. Just because, I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't know. But like I say, all three choices are excellent choices. They are excellent choices. The formulas for all of these are very, very good. Excellent formula. Excellent blending. Like, it doesn't take a long time to blend it out. It is, I mean, it's just real creamy. It's good coverage. Even with the tinted moisturizer, this is good coverage. It's not terrible. So I think because I haven't used this in a long time, actually we'll use this. We will use the foundation. All right. So just in case, we'll keep these other ones out just to be on the safe side. Just to have options. All right. So with this, I like to shake her up. Like I say, I haven't used it in a minute, so shake her up. Now I have a little palette that I use. This is from Real Techniques. Yes, it needs to be wiped off, but I apply a couple of drops to the palette, and then I like to apply mine and then blend it out. So when I first started using foundation, I was out here just squeezing it on my face, and I'm like, no. I learned, no, let's not do that. So what I'm using brush wise, this is the Morph M107 foundation brush. I use a lot of the Morph brushes because they are fantastic. If ColourPop made some brushes, and I think they do, I would get those. I absolutely would get those. So as you can see, I am just painting, literally painting my face and applying this. As you can see, it's a little bright. It's a little bright. So we may need to darken her down just slightly, because the setting powder that I'm going to use is not a darker setting powder. This is very, very bright. But now, as you can see, and in different parts of my face, I am different shades. So up here at the top, it's fine. Down at the bottom, not so much. So this is the correct shade when I do shade matching. This is the one that I got. And my shade match is pretty good. So, and periodically I do go back once I found other ones that I know are the right shade. I will use those to shade match my previous ones, my early ones. And it always comes up with this. That is why I'm telling y'all this. It comes up with this. So, with this specific shade, the dark 157W. So, I don't know. I don't know why it's it's telling me that this is the right shade, but clearly it's a little bright. It's a little bright. Now, accept no substitutes when it comes to concealer. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. This is fantastic. This is one of the best concealers I've ever used. It works well with everybody's shade. Comes with a doe foot applicator. And for me, I put it under here like so, because I have dark circles under here, which is very likely from hyperpigmentation. So I have to use a concealer. And I started using concealer first, and then I branched into foundation, actual foundation, because I was like, I have no idea. I've never worn foundation a day in my life. So I need to understand how this works. All right, so to blend, let us find the correct brush. Yeah, no, that was not the correct brush. To blend, what did I do with my brushes? Oh, because I took them out already. We're going to use two different Morph brushes. One is made for foundation, one is made for concealer. For the foundation, this is the M103 foundation brush from Morph. And for the concealer, this is the M132 angled concealer brush. All right, so let's blend her out. Now, as you can see, once I start blending, it's not entirely 100% terrible in terms of shade. And it does kind of match my neck down here. So, it's not terrible entirely. Like I say, this is a good, it's a good foundation. And it blends really well. I used to use a sponge to blend my face, but I actually prefer brushes now. That's not to say that sponges are terrible. I prefer a good brush to do this with. I feel like I get a better beat with this. As you can see, once it's blended out, and I like to go in a circle around my face. I generally start with this side over here, and then I work my way around this way. So it's just a quirk of mine. And then I work my way back to spots that I feel like I missed and didn't get a good blend on. So, okay. I think we did good. Try to get a good blend on the nose. And also, I have, as I'm looking down here, I have a Barbie trifold lighted mirror that is excellent. I got it from Impressions Vanity some months ago, and I got it for like $15 because it was on sale right after Thanksgiving. So that's what I'm looking down in to get a good blend. All right. Now, as you can see, note that I took care to not blend my concealer and foundation together. I like to blend them separately so that they do not cake. So, using this angled concealer brush, we're going to blend this down into it, but not on top of it. And as you can see, it does brighten under my eyes. And I have to blend this out so that it looks like a seamless blend. Like I didn't use two different things. So I'm getting better at that part. Now, I will put a little concealer over there just to cover that spot a little bit. And as you can see, nice seamless blend. It does not get cakey for me when I do it this way. And it works really well for me. I learned this technique from watching Robert Welsh. And reading about how to do. So, perfect. So that's actually not that bad. Okay. But also summer. So, summertime. And when I bought this foundation originally, it was summer. So, all right. Face is done. At least for right now with foundation and concealer. Now, blush. For the liquid blush, I have two separate blushes. And I have two separate blushes that I want to use here. Now, generally, I use the ColourPop weightless liquid blush. However, I have a liquid stick. It's a cream. It's a cream. Let's just call it what it is. It's a cream. So I have 2 shades of this, and this is the ColourPop blush sticks. I like this. I like the formula and I like the consistency, but this shade for me is, the shade is hard to, because it's trying to be brown with my brown, and I'm like, maybe this was the wrong shade. So this is the shade Cool It, and this is the shade S tier. Now I just bought S tier, so we're gonna use S tier. Now, if I have to, I have other liquid blush. Their weightless liquid blush, fantastic. Get that. I'm telling you, get that. So whatever also that I don't use here that I think is good, I will link in the description. I will highly recommend it in the description. Now, because we just did all this liquid foundation, put your cream on top of your cream. And I'm taking a brush to do this, because what I don't want to do is move my foundation by taking this and swiping. Take a brush and do it. And then tap. And this brush is the Morphe Cream and Liquid Blush brush. This is the M204. Now, as you can see, I get a nice little, cute little wash of color on the cheek. And yes, my brush does need to be cleaned. That's a running theme here. But it's a nice little wash of color. And I like to start up here and come down to about where the eye starts. So about right here on my cheek. Now, sometimes I come down a little bit closer. Just sometimes. But not a whole lot. Sometimes. Now, like there, I did come down a little bit further. Just a little bit. But that's because this blush is not like super crazy loud blush. So like all I'm doing here is taking this and doing like this on the top. And getting what I want off the top. And that, for me, that's all I need, really. Because I'm going to also put powder blush on. So, but just know that there will be more blush in the future. All right, now, we are going to use highlighter, because I very seldom wear highlighter, because you can see I have like a natural highlight going on anyway, just because. So, I very seldom wear highlighter. However, I have 2 different highlighters, and I like both of them. They're actually both very good. These are the ColourPop highlighters. One is a liquid and one is a cream. Now, this is the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter, pearlized, in the shade Lunch Money. Okay. This is the ColourPop liquid highlighter, dewy liquid highlighter, in the shade Immediately Yes. Now, I like both of these. They are great. They are very, very good. So you see the back of this. That's what the back looks like. The Super Shock highlighters and the Super Shock eyeshadows are actually very good. So I think, because I've used the highlighter before, I've used this before. Let's use this, because I have not used this that often. So we're going to use that. Now, because also we're dealing in a cream product, put your cream on top of your cream. Put like with like here. Okay. Also, I like to do a little bit. I like to kind of wipe off my little doe foot on the side of the bottle, so that I don't get too much out. And if I have to add more, I add more. So you can see I did 2 little dots. 1, 2. Also, you'll notice I'm way more heavy-handed on this side, on my right side, than I am on my left, because I am right-handed. So, same brush, we're going to tap her out. And I'm trying not to really mix it into the foundation and the blush, but here we are. So, but like I say, I already have a natural highlight going on, so that's why I don't wear it that often, because my skin is already, like, I just have a natural one going on up underneath here when I put my blush on. And it's probably the blush doing it. So, like, I'm already prepared for that. But I do like that highlighter. That is really, really pretty. And I like the Super Shock highlighter. I really do like that. That is an excellent choice if that's what you want to go with. It is. It's an excellent choice. But as you can see, I have a highlight. Now, I do not own any contour, because I would put on my contour at this point if I had any from ColourPop. I do not have contour. I have very little contour because I am still learning how to do that. So, and do it right, consistently. So, and actually, you know what, I think, because this is a cream, this is not a powder, so we're going to take a little bit, and I'm going to do some. I am going to take some of this. This is the Super Shock highlighter. I am going to take a little bit and do just above where I put the liquid version. Same spot, basically. Nice. Also, I don't tend to wear highlighter just because I tend to like a matte face. So, that's why I don't do that. So that is done. All right. Now it's time to lock everything down the first time. So y'all girl likes to use setting powder and setting spray. I like to use both. It makes me feel a little bit more confident that I'm locking everything down. So for our setting spray, this is the ColourPop No Filter Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. You can't really read it that well, but it's translucent. So, I like it. Now, this is a trick I learned in the little short time that I have been doing Budget Beauty, which is about a year and some change now. You're going to set her with powder, and then you're going to put your powders, your other powders, your powder blush, your powder whatever else on top of this. Okay? Now, this, what you need to do in order to do this and do it well. As you can see, I already have it in my tin. What we're going to do is take this, get our powder puff. Let me grab one. Take this powder puff. And I could put that back there, but I'm not gonna. Take this part, take your powder, put it in your hand, prime it in your hand, smooth it out a little bit, prime her down, and then start powdering. Now, yes, I know I got a bunch of powder up there, but as you can see, I powdered it, and then try to powder underneath my eyes and get this here, because I prefer a matte look here. I learned this trick as was suggested by one of my early followers, Miss Gina, and she had seen it on Miss Nina Ubi's channel. And then I went and watched it, and I was like, I learned how to do this and do it right. Now, as you can see, I'm a little light bright now because powder is a translucent. And I generally do not use translucents, but in this case, That is the powder that I have for ColourPop. And it's not a bad powder. It's actually very good. You don't have to use a lot. This is also why I tend to, why I learned to do that method from watching her and taking Miss Gina's suggestion. Because this, that cuts down on how much powder you're using. And it helps prime it. So yes, I am a little bright here, but it's a little bright. It's a little bright, and I'm fixing to not be matte either. But it's all right. It's not terrible. But yes, I would probably buy a different shade of thing if I were gonna buy more of their setting powder. I will buy a different shade. I think I've only seen translucent. So there's that. All right. Now, let's talk about doing powder blush. So now we're at the portion where we are wrapping up our face. For the powder blush, we're going to use the ColourPop pressed powder blush. And this is in the shade New to You. That is what that says on the back. I have several of these. I have several shades of this. And I actually really like this shade. I think this is going to go well on this. And go with the liquid that I used that you can kind of sort of still see. So, to do that, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild powder brush. Get a little bit on there. Tap around a little bit. Because it is highly pigmented. And dust on. As you can see, I don't need a whole lot. So that's why I'm very gingerly tapping my face here, because I don't need a whole lot of it. And then on the other side, just take the excess. I don't even need to go back into the tin too much. As you can see, it is highly pigmented. And I am going to actually take some of this excess off of here. It's a little bit too much. Just a tad bit. Now, to get rid of that excess that we just kind of put on a little bit too much, it's a little too intense there. I have 2 kabuki brushes, but I'm going to use the one that I actually really like. This is the Essence kabuki brush. And do a little something like this right here. And that takes down the intensity just a tad, because it is quite intense. Okay. It's a little bit better. All right. So now we are ready for the under eye. So for the under eye, because I like to do that now. Yes, I know I could probably set my under eye by when I set my face, but it's fine. This is the ColourPop BFF liquid liner in the shade Numero Uno. This is a very good liquid liner. It's a nice intense black and works really well for doing this bottom under eye. As you can see. Nice. So we're going to, I always have to draw it from one end to the other and then come back and reconnect, because I'm never going to get that right on the first go. Perfect. That's exactly what I was wanting. All right. Face is done. Eyes are done. Let's talk about the lips. Now, I could not find, because I actually did not own a lip pencil from them, lip liner at all. Like, I didn't own any until probably like maybe a week ago. So we're going to use, I did find one, but it is not a red, even though I'm going to wear red lipstick here. This pencil, this is the ColourPop Lippy Pencil, and it is in the shade Shot Clock. This was the one I could find. My Ulta did not have a red, and I was like, really? Okay. So, let's liner. This is actually my first time using this too. And I like to go up and around and hit my Cupid's bow and try to do like a top down. I also have oddly colored brownish, pinkish lips. So, yeah. I do like this pink though. This is a very, very nice muted mauve. And this is fantastic. Because sometimes I don't want a loud pink when I line my lips, because it's going to look weird. So, all right. I don't know how this is going to work out, but we're going to work it out. Now, for the lipstick. I wear a lot of liquid lipsticks, and I have a lot of reds because red is my signature shade. This is the best red I have ever used. It is extremely good. This is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip. This is in the shade Risk Taker. Risk Taker is fantastic. This is a really good red. It is transfer proof, and it dries down, and it is one of the most gorgeous mattes I have ever seen. It is just a beautiful matte red look when it's dry. And it is quick dry. So, okay. That's not odd. Not as odd as I thought it was going to be. I would have preferred a red liner, but I do not have it. Because I promise y'all I looked. And I tried to buy it. And I couldn't. Because they did not have it. That's not a bad combination. And like I say, this is quick drying. So it's almost dry. Matter of fact, the bottom is dry. The bottom is dry and the top is dry. I mean, it's dry and it's extremely comfortable. I have that lipstick in multiple shades. I have it in the shades Double Date and I can't even remember what the other one is, but I have this as a red, and I have it as a pink and as a beige. So it's a very good red. All right, as you can see, this is the completed look. I think that turned out okay considering. I didn't think we were gonna do it, but I think this turned out nice. I was scared that was gonna be just a tad bit too light on me, but no. It's brighter than I would normally use just for the translucent color of the setting powder, but on top of a shade that is already light colored for me. But it's not terrible. So, and the lips turned out fine. I mean, I'm just wearing a pink liner with red lipstick, which I normally would not do. I just go ahead and tell you that now. I would not do that. So, but I think it turned out fine. I do think it's fine. So it just enhances the normal brown top of my lip that I already have, because it really does look like it's just my lip. So that's not that bad. And the blush turned out fine. I had to take it down a little bit. But the real star of the show here are these eyes. These eyes turned out beautiful. I am very impressed with my own work here, because your girl, listen, I can put together an eye look when I want to. All right, to finish her off, this is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Lock It In Setting Spray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, charlatans and shitheels, this is not a matte setting spray. This is going to make me be very, very dewy. So, be forewarned. I prefer a matte look. Y'all know this. Y'all heard me say this in this video, and you will see it in all of my other videos. I prefer a matte look. But this is the ColourPop setting spray that I have. So, here goes. Okay, now what we aren't going to do, try not to spray a whole ton of it, but what we aren't going to do is spray a lot of that. So, we're going to use Mr. Sweetful. This is what I refer to as my fan. I have a drying fan in here. 3 speeds. It's a USB chargeable, portable little fan, handheld fan here. And he is fantastic. I got it off of Amazon for $9. It holds a charge for a very long time because I do not use it very often. I use it to dry my face from my makeup. And that one time the hurricane came through and knocked out my power for 5 days. but when I'm just using it for makeup, my guy here is fantastic, and he holds a charge for a very long time. So, we like this fan. It's a very good buy. So, I am very pleased, and here in our inaugural episode of Full Face Dahling, I think this turned out really well. I am very, very pleased with this look. So, and going forward, we will have several more episodes, like quite a few more episodes. I think we are at 7 or 8 possible episodes for brands. And, you know, actually, I'm not as shiny as I could be. I'm shiny, but it's not, because it's not, like I said, this is not a, it's not a matte setting spray. However, I'm not as shiny as I could be. Okay. We will be doing more going forward in the future here. Looking forward to doing other brands and pulling together looks. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, your girl very much deals in 40s and 50s makeup, a little bit of 60s, so just be ready for that. Probably not doing any modern type makeup looks. This is very much like a 1950s / early 60s kind of look. So let's let our hair down. And as you can see, the hair very much lends itself to 40s, a little bit of 60s. Kind of 50s too, but very much 40s. I have gotten this wig off of, this is actually a fantastic wig. I got this wig off of Amazon, and I'll probably link it in the description too, so you guys can see it. I like this wig. They call this a victory roll, and I was like, that is not a victory roll, y'all. It's not. It's just a front swoop. It's not a victory roll. Stop it. I was like, stop it. Listen, I wasn't alive in the 40s, and I know what a victory roll looks like, and I know what one doesn't look like. It's not a victory roll. I mean, it's like a half victory roll, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, I guess. These earrings I also got off of Amazon. These are gold. I got them in a pack of like 9 pairs of gold earrings to go with the gold dress that I wore for our anniversary photo shoot in the main series. And it was a nice little pack of gold earrings. So, and I always add my jewelry after, because I do not like to wear jewelry while I'm trying to, unless it's very small earrings. I also don't have on my wedding bands right now because I'm sticking my hands in makeup. And then with the piece de resistance, but I don't like getting makeup on my jewelry and on my hair flower. So we're going to throw a hair flower on here. This is my signature summer look. Isn't she pretty? Yeah, I guess I look all right too. The flower is actually really pretty. I got this from a hair store here, which is where I get most of my hair accessories. And like my actual, like for my actual hair, I get my shampoo and conditioner and things. And I also get some wigs from there also. I get quite a few wigs there. But this one I got off of Amazon. So like I say, I will link it in the description of the video. So that is the completed look. I think this turned out very nicely. I think I look pretty. And I think I did a good job. I want to thank ColourPop for being fantastic and budget, because listen, y'all girl love her some ColourPop. I adore ColourPop. And I have way more stuff than what y'all actually saw here. But in like the shadow sticks, I have a lot of those. I really, really, really like ColourPop. I have quite a few of their eyeshadow palettes, their blushes, their weightless liquid blush. I have, like, just, if they made other stuff, I go buy that too. Stay trying to find stuff. I absolutely adore these liquid, the jelly eyeshadow, because like I said, I know y'all can't see it very well, and I can maybe get in, but I mean, it is a gorgeous shimmer on my eye, and it looks really good. Very, very impressed. So that concludes our ColourPop episode, and we will be back with another brand in our next episode. Stay tuned for that, and I'll try to get this in production pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to more episodes in this series. I think it's going to be a really fun series. This is good long form content, so you can see me do a look from start to finish. So come back and watch more of our episodes later. Watch more of my series here at Budget Beauty, and drop a comment and like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'll see you later. Peace.